All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to, based on another request, we're going to take a look here at Danielle McEwan now. A little bit different. And it's actually got Daria on here as well. So we can kind of compare the two, which I think is pretty cool. So we'll take a look here at Danielle as far as her release goes and the techniques that she has, and kind of go from there. So when we stop this right here, so you guys can see where her hands are, or where her hand is when she's released. Her thumb's cleared, obviously. And this is why she creates decent rev rate, is because her thumb is already clear. Her fingers are obviously still in the ball, and she's rolling up the back of it pretty nice. She's creating a very good 45-degree-ish ball roll right here, which is great. I think she's got one of the better ball rolls on tour, which it really shows because she has some of the most success on tour. So it goes to show in her game. And when we actually watch her, we'll watch a couple of different angles here. And let's stop right there. If we look, her hand is right around the equator, probably a little bit too high still, I would say. But you can definitely see she is a candidate for one where you can talk about the difference in the anatomy of their arms versus men's arms. Look at her elbow is in the right spot. It's pointing towards her hip, but yet her hand, her forearm and everything is still to the outside. That's what creates a little bit of difficulty for some of the women, is because that's how their arms are shaped a little bit more so than men. So it makes it more difficult to get their hand to the inside part of the ball as well. And that is another reason why a lot of them are playing further right most times. Danielle does a really good job. Oh, I love the way you can clearly see her thumb, then her fingers. That is a perfect example of thumb, then fingers, creating rev rate, creating proper rotation. I like that a lot. We look at one a little bit from the right side view. Swing is perfectly straight. Everything's in line. You can see she's already, again, you can see her elbow is pointing in the right direction. Her hand is going to the outside. That makes it difficult. But she does still create very, very good ball roll. But her hand gets a little bit on the top side. You can see her fingers are definitely above the equator of the ball. This is where a little bit of power is lost. Could be a little bit stronger if she were to get her hand a little bit lower. But I don't necessarily think she needs it, because I think she does a lot of the right things already. So she could create Daria type rev rate if she were to get her fingers lower, but she doesn't quite have them there, and that's okay. She does all the right things otherwise. I don't know that I would critique too much with her. I think this was from 2020, so it was a few years ago, and since she had her surgery and whatnot, she's changed her slide a bit from what I've seen. This slide looks pretty good. It goes in the right direction. If you watch where it finishes, you can see she kind of slides a little straight, somewhat towards her target, but now when you watch some of her videos, it really seems like that foot starts to slide a little bit to the left. I don't know if she's just trying to clear it more. That's the one critique I do have of her current videos I've seen lately. Maybe it was just a couple of videos, but it looks like she almost slides to the left and then is trying, and then the ball, I don't know, it's weird. I like to see people slide towards their target more, get that foot up underneath the chin rather than being so far to the right. But this one's not nearly as bad as some of the ones I've seen in the past. So we'll look at one more with a little bit closer shot. Again, equator of the ball, definitely fingers are above. But the way she clears that thumb and then whips those fingers around, that's what creates the rev rate she creates. She does a pretty good job. And then you can see the big difference here when we go and we take a look at Daria. Her hand is much lower under the ball. Equator of the ball, right at the equator there. And then when we watch, you can see the big difference in her hand position versus Danielle. Danielle being more on the top and to the side. This is more inside. And what's weird, this is what's crazy. Look at her elbow. Her elbow actually looks like it's pointing to the right side, where Danielle's looked like it was pointing to the inside. So again, the anatomy of the body really matters here. We've got to really pay attention to what we can. That's why I always try to teach. I try to teach pointing the elbow to the inside just as an over-exaggeration type of thing. Just get your elbow inside, your hand inside. But I think here she's also trying to create, look how far left she is. She's trying to create an awful lot of side rotation in order to get that ball to recover. So you're going to have your elbow a little bit to the outside when it comes to playing further inside of the lane to be able to get the ball to actually recover and go through the pins. But like, that's sick. Look at that. She gets that ball to drive through those pins really nice. So let's, from a side view, you can see little elbow tuck. See how underneath she gets there? And below the equator of the ball, thumb, then fingers, and then just rips right through it. Very cool to see. Very nice. Front side. We haven't seen a front side. This is a good video. I like this video. A little bit of a tuck up underneath. Look at that position. Really nice. Yeah. Start then being further inside again. Her hand starts to come around the outside to create that rotation. Boom. Thumb, then fingers. Rotates right around it. Perfect. Sweet follow through. Good. Very nice. So anyway, so that's that. That's Danielle, McEwan, and Daria. I know a lot of people wanted to see Danielle and wanted to talk about what she does. And again, the only thing I would critique nowadays is I think that slide just gets going a little bit too far left sometimes. But otherwise, both these girls are really strong, really good players. Two of the best on tour. So pay attention to them as you see some of the PWBA events coming up again in next summer. Or even when they're bowling some of the men's events too. So that's all I got. I'm out of here, and we will see you guys next time.